Moving on now to Bernard. Thank you, Jose. Enjoy the celebrations on the 2nd of December for the 50 years of the existence of the UAE. And now moving on to Bernard Grabina. Bernard is the team coordinator for European governance and urban policy at the Center for Public Administration Research in Vienna, Austria. Bernard initiated Austria's largest award-winning transparency portal, offnerhaushalt.at, Open Spending Austria, where over 1,000 government institutions publish their spending data, which is then interactively visualized. He's also an active member of the Semantic Media Wiki community and has developed several knowledge management platforms, such as the Vienna History Wiki. And to his talk, entitled Visualising Public Finance Data, the Key to Governmental Transparency. Over to you, Bernhard.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. I would like to tell the story about municipal finance data and this as a key to governmental transparency. Can we go to the first slide, please? Because I don't have the... Oh, yeah. Now I see it. The municipal spending reports usually look like this. I have one here in front of me, so 300 or something pages of printed tables without a single visualization. So in Austria currently the situation is we have 2,095 municipalities, and for the smaller municipalities you are legally you have the right to visit the town hall and look through these tables. The larger cities tend to be a little bit more transparent. They would put the 300 or 400 or 500 pages PDF documents on their website. Still, you have to linear scroll through those PDF documents. And if you look at the Austrian open data portal, data.gv.at, you would see that only 43 municipalities are on there. So you would not even get 2% of all municipalities that provide open data. So this is why we started our platform. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So this is why we launched our platform, Open Spending Austria. It was launched back in 2013 already. We have all the spending data from 2010 to 2019 because we get those from the Statistics Austria office, and we sent the mayors the login credentials so they could look at their own spending data visualized. We have several standard visualizations for that, and with just 2 simple clicks they can disclose the data and also the visualizations and take part in our free platform that is free of charge for the municipalities. There's also the possibility to download the underlying data that is transformed to a CSV format so that you can reuse it. And the municipalities can also upload more current data because, for example, the spending data for 2020 or the planned budget for 2021 is not available for all municipalities, of course, so they can upload those data, this data in our platform. And you have to know, this is important, why maybe the talk now is very currently interesting. There has been a major shift in Austria's legal system. Municipalities have to switch from a purely cash-based accounting system to an accrual accounting system, and this we had to reflect also on our spending platform. Next slide, please. You can see that when we started out, only a few municipalities were piloting, and on the next slide you can see the current status, where we have more than 61% to 1,284. I think it's 85 currently are taking part in the platform, and there's the first visualization already that visualizes who takes part in our platform. The lighter shaded areas are those who just disclose the data. The darker shaded areas are those municipalities who also proactively upload data, so more current data, and those in orange are the ones that provide additional information, because we also have some services that that they have to pay for, but so that we can finance our portal, but they take part in extra services that I will show you in a minute. But let's go first on the next slide to the overview. You can see on the left-hand side, this is the one component that has been there always. This is the cash flow statement with certain indicators, and so there is for each municipality. Here in this example is the city of Graz, second largest city in Austria. You find those three components. On the left-hand side is the cash flow statement that has been there traditionally, and now there are two more components. On the right-hand side, there is the profit and loss statement that is new, that is only there since the year 2020, because this was the year when they first had to compile this information in form of a profit and loss statement. And in the middle, you can see the balance sheet showing a comparable to private sector organizations, that shows assets and liabilities. And you can see also we kind of tend to visualize this differently for those three different components. This is indicated here in those small icons, but you will see this when we click on the next slide to the cash flow statement. We actually followed here what is I would say, best practice. Many open spending visualizations that started in the UK and also with Open Knowledge Foundation, they use this tree map visualization. So you can see here the cash flow, the spendings in different colors, showing the different sizes of the spending areas. So you have several different types of spending. For example, this turquoise one would be education, and on top of that, you can switch from cash outflow to cash inflow. So you have to decide which one aspect you want to look at. You can switch from absolute values to per capita values, because these absolute figures tend to be very complex. And on the right-hand side, you can see that below this visualization, you have a table with more detailed information. And in this table, you can drill down. So you can click, for example, on education. Then you would go. This would turn turquoise, because that's the color for education. And then you would see the 10 subsections of education, and then you can drill down one more. So we have 3 levels of data here that is shown, and you can on the right hand side you can click between the years. So you will stay where you are, but you can click from 2020 back to 2019, 2018, however far you want to go. On the next slide, we can change to the profit and loss statement. This is by default uses a bar chart. This is because here in the profit and loss statement, it is more important to see the positive and negative values at the same time. So in red or green, you can see the balance of the different areas. So you would see that in again, the turquoise would be education. You would see that for education, of course, the municipality has more losses than profits. So this is why they get taxes from the federal system that would be shown here in green. You can switch if you want to a tree map, but the default setting, if you look at this kind of component, is the bar chart. The next is the balance sheet. That's the third component that is really brand new here in Austria. In Germany, for example, they did this some years ago, but for Austrian municipalities, this is new. The balance sheet here now shows really, and this was interesting because actually we wanted to know how to visualize a balance sheet, and we tried to research this, but unfortunately we didn't really find anything. So balance sheets are usually only shown as tables, but so we invented something, if you will. So you see the active and the passive side. So that would be the assets on the left side and the liabilities on the right side. And on the left side, if you click on the assets, you go to the next slide, then you would see that on the right side it gets grayed out. Why? Because the profit and loss statement has only the balance sheet. Not the balance sheet is only leveled out on the top level. And if you drill down on the left side, on the asset side, you would go down into further details, but the values do not match anymore. So you have to click up again until you see again the balance for the balance sheet, and then you can, if you want, go into more details on the right hand side. So this is the balance sheet, and if you go to the next slide, please. Yeah, there is another visualization that I think is very important because it shows the spending over time. This is available only for the cash statement because only historical data is there for the cash flow statement. You can see, interestingly, these are small multiples. So again, you have the same coloring here. The turquoise one would be the education, and you would see that the axes are calibrated, so you would see that how the spending develops, and you could see that there are some areas where not much seems to be going on, and other areas where a lot of change is happening. So you can click also here into more details. And if you click, for example, on education, you would see the 10 sub levels, and the axes get rescaled according to the values on each level. So you would see, even if it now looks very flat, you would, if you go into the details now, see then again what is going on in which spending area. On the next slide, we have some special features. For example, we have a special service called Subsidy Checker in form of a network visualization. For this, the municipalities have to provide additional data that is not part of their regular spending reports. So you can see in this network visualization, the colored nodes are different funding schemes. For example, for sports or for culture, municipalities provide grants or subsidies. And the gray nodes are the receivers of the subsidies. So you would see what private person or association or government institution would receive grants or subsidies from what different types of funding schemes from the municipality. This is a special visualization that we did. And quite similar on the next slide is something that is more automatic without the additional need to upload additional data. We call this a digital grants report. Again, here we use a different visualization, also because we have to, because we don't have the detailed information for each and every institution receiving the grants. So here, this gets calculated automatically from the uploading of the regular spending reports. So these individual grant receivers cannot be shown, but you see on the Sankey diagram, you would see what types of grant it is. Is it a grant for private to private organizations or to households? And on the left side, you would see also again those type of spending schemes like education, sports, or whatever. On the next slide, you can see another special service that we have. It is called Infrastructure Checker. This is currently only available for the city of Salzburg, who co-invented this with us. So it shows the investments and maintenance costs of public infrastructure. So also here you need to provide additional data that is not in the spending in the regular spending reports. So yeah, this is. But you can see here where there's investments in infrastructure. On the next slide, we have another service. It looks a little bit different. Why? Because it is not implemented on the new platform now. We are working on this currently, but we have this for the old spending data. It's kind of a visualization with a donut chart that's called "Where does the tax money go?" So this shows where municipalities have to invest tax money because other spending areas might be financed by fees. So what you have to what is the amount per 1,000 euros on average that you would have left that you could spend, for example, to pay back debts. And on the next slide, also something that we have is the so-called KDZ quick test. That's a set of finance indicators that show the financial soundness of a municipality. This is also gets calculated from the spending reports, and you have 5 indicators, sub-indicators that are combined into one grading scheme where there is a grade for the financial soundness of a municipality. Yeah, on the next slide, you can see also, I mentioned that the data is available also as open data once the municipalities click on the disclose button. So you can see out from the 63,000 data sets that are from data.gv.at from Austria on the European data portal. 28,000 are from our portal, so 77%. That's quite a lot. So I think we really were lucky to be able to really provide this transparency mechanism to the Austrian municipalities. On the last slide, I would like to summarize shortly. So just to sum up, 61% of all the municipalities in Austria are part of our platform. We have the spending data starting from 2010. There are 28,000 data sets in 9 different visualizations that I've talked about a little bit. It is free of charge for the municipalities, the general transparency. We have some additional special services with a small service fee, so we can finance this portal. It is implemented using open source technology, and you can see here also some statistics. So we have around 200 visitors per day we had in 2021. So this is it. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions you might have.
Thank you, Bernhard. Yes, indeed, there are questions coming in, quite a number of them. We've got one again here from Wolfgang Eigner, who says, great work, awesome tool with a lot of added value for municipalities and citizens. Is there a way to deal with missing data in the visualizations?
Hello, Wolfgang. We are lucky because we don't have missing data. So the spending data is there is a standard, so all municipalities have to follow the standard, so there is no real missing data. If it is 0, then it is 0. The only missing thing is we don't have all municipalities. That's unfortunate. But we are working on this. The reason why we don't have all municipalities is because they have to proactively tell us or grant us the right to use their spending data. So we cannot just put every spending data we have on there. But in the data itself there is no missing data.
Well, that's very useful. But on that point, we have another question coming in. So you've got all the data, but how can you check or verify this data to make sure it's reliable? This is another question.
Yeah. Well, this data comes from the financial software systems of the municipalities. So from their bookkeeping software, this bookkeeping software has to be able to provide this standardized data format that is specified by Statistics Austria, and is also sent to the regional governments, and from the regional governments it is sent to the statistics office. So it's basically the same data that the statistics office gets. And there are checks. Some checks are done within the financial software themselves. So we basically get the same data that the statistics office gets. So we can rely on it because it's the official data from the municipalities, and it gets exported by their financial software.
Thank you very much. And just one little comment from Michael or Michel. Grant visualizations are great. Thanks, is what he says. And I particularly liked the visualizing of a balance sheet and the title, Where Does the Tax Money Go? The eternal question. But thank you so much. Some of it goes to you, I hope, for your work. Thank you so much, Bernard. And I'm sure many more people will be directing their questions through Swapcard directly to you. And
Sure.
now we'll move on to our next speaker. Thank you, Bernard.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.